All right, seems like today we've got really small audience, but still, why not? So, in general, because we have only small audience, as I say, maybe we can switch not to just general overview from our side, but directly answering some questions from your side. We already see one from you. Shinedu, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, please improve me.
No, it's correct. It's okay. It's fine.
Okay, super. So, first of all, thank you for being interested. I'm glad that you're interested in the MSAI program. I guess you have already seen the brief overview and description of the program. There is also a video available on the program. I've recorded it recently. And here we are glad to answer two main questions from your side and maybe give you a small hint and a brief overview of what is waiting if you are willing to participate. Just in case, just recently, 10 minutes ago, we finished additional defense date for our students who unfortunately could not participate in the main date. So there are second-year students who just graduated from the program 10 minutes ago, and they did quite a good job. So quite interesting to see graduates and admission students at the same date, almost at the same time. So mostly speaking about MSAI, our main goal is to help you to reach the current cutting-edge state of artificial intelligence and understand what can you do in any of the directions, either in research, in academia, or in some applied techniques. So maybe somewhere close to business, somewhere close to applied research, and so on. The program is out there. It contains of three main blocks. We focus on basics, then theoretical basics, then some on the three main knowledge, which includes machine learning, applied statistics, and so on, and then cutting-edge stuff like NLP, CV, RL, graph, machine learning, and so on, which is quite useful everywhere nowadays. All our materials are open, so you can find them on GitHub, speaking about class materials, and some recordings are available on YouTube, so you can always check what is the quality of the materials, how it's being taught. Of course, during the program, we not only give you the materials, but also interact with you, give you some feedback, guide you through some specific stuff. You dive into some society of other students, so you have some information not only from our side, but you provide it to each other and get from each other. And that's the main difference between studying by yourself and studying as a part of the group. Because, of course, nowadays, everyone can study if one is willing, just using open materials. There are plenty of them out there. So we're not trying to tell that our materials are the best. They're just good enough. And we're here to help you to go through them with a rather high pace and rather high result. Okay, so speaking about your question, I will maybe answer to it briefly. So I understand that this website might be a little bit tricky. Actually, it's really tricky for us as well because it has completely no connection with the educational part of the program. It's just being built from the business guys at MIPT, and MIPT is not such a place for non-educational people. So I will connect with Kirill Miller, and I guess he will give some feedback, or maybe you're already connected with him, because in your case, it should be solved rather fine, because we had such students last year, but maybe some of the government regulations have changed. So I need Kirill feedback in here, because from my point of view, it should be available. You should be able to get admission to this program, but I'm not quite sure about the formal steps. That's why I need some guidance. But
Right,
just
okay.
if there are any issues with submitting your documents, we will just help you from our side, because we know that it might be a little bit tricky. So if there are some problems, we'll simply collect all your documents from our side and submit them directly if there are some with the web form.
All right. Thank you.
So any other stuff you would like to discuss, Dmitry, Shinedu?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
I wanted to ask some questions about this master's program. And formally, it's a master's program in MIPT, as I understand.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in this program, but I have some doubts because I have a full-time job. And how tough is the program? So if I work full-time till 7 p.m., is it possible to follow the track? How fast is the pace of the program? How tough to work and study?
I got it. So, Vladislav, do you mind if I answer it as well? Okay, so the pace is rather high. That's true. So at MIPT, the education is quite challenging, but it's definitely realistic to follow the track and to finish this program because 90% of our graduates and of our current students are working full-time. So that's completely true. But you will definitely need at least 15, I would say 20 hours per week. Usually, sometimes, of course, smaller amount, you can just watch the recordings later of the webinars or lectures, but sometimes even more when you're working on your thesis or when you're working on the home assignments a lot. So I would say that the median is 15 to 20 hours per week. That's quite doable, but of course that takes some time. So you cannot fulfill it by spending half an hour every day because just that's too small amount of time. But still doable, and also it provides some serious improvements, not only in the AI field, but in general in software development, understanding in some mathematics, algorithm background, and so on. So usually if you are somehow connected with technical field, not only for IT specialists, but for many different specialists, it might also improve your work quality or just time which you use to work on some projects might be decreased because you just gain additional knowledge, not only after the graduation, but during the whole studying process.
Thank you. And also, what is the approximate schedule of the track? For example, how much lessons a week, what time?
So the time is flexible. We usually select time according to the majority of the group. So usually the classes start approximately at 7 p.m. in the evening Moscow time. During the weekdays or during the weekends, they usually also take place on Saturdays approximately at 12 o'clock or 15 o'clock Moscow time. And speaking about the number of classes per week, usually there are 5 webinars per week, 4 to 5 webinars. 4 of them are technical, and during the first year, you also have the foreign language webinar, which is not only just about studying some foreign language, because it's kind of strange because we're speaking English on the program. It's more about some technical and academical English. So you read a lot of different papers, investigate the topics you've already seen or you will see later on the classes, but from the ground up. So you read the original papers where, for example, gradient boosting was proposed or some genetic algorithms and so on, and get ready to write some texts and give presentations in English. That's actually quite a useful experience because people are sometimes confused not to read something in English, but to provide something in English. And that's why we're teaching you to do that as well, because that's not a secret that AI is definitely being developed in the international sphere, not in any country solely. So you need to speak and be proficient in English to work in it on high level.
Thank you. And you said that classes usually start approximately at 19 p.m. And how long is the class?
1 to 1.5 hours. So usually just regular class from the university. Just one pair in Russian language, одна пара, but it can vary because sometimes the topic might be simple, and if there are no questions and you fulfill it in 40 minutes, that's fine. Nobody is making you to wait longer unless you have some additional questions. If you have some additional questions and they are breaking the limit of 1 hour 20 minutes, then of course they still will be answered if there is enough room. That's not a problem.
And there are exams during winter and
Yeah. Exactly. There are oral exams after almost every theoretical course, because only in the dialogue we can actually see whether you have some good understanding of the material, and especially highlight you some problematic points where you can improve your knowledge further.
Thank you. And I have some questions about the entrance exam. The format in which it's held, and needed level. So I saw the test variant of the exam and all topics. For example, the exam is divided into 3 parts. It's maths, statistics, and programming. And what is the threshold? How much tasks should be solved to pass the exam from each section?
Ladislav, will you help me with it?
Yeah, I wanted to add about the first question. So I think that how many, I think it's definitely more than half of our students are full-time workers. So I mean that's so on the one hand, that's, well, some effort, definitely, but still people are able to handle it. And so that's a regular thing when people work and study our program. Still, it's a bit of a challenge. So they all usually give feedback like it was tough. But still, we had a meeting with MSAI students recently. I mean, on the previous week. And they all were happy that they joined and reached the final state, the thesis, the defense, and so on. So, and turning to the exams and level, well, you need to show some proficiency, some well, what you have, I think, because we also have different cases here. I had a case of my student who joined my team in my, I mean, at my work, and he knew that I was leading a master program, so he joined the program as well, and in a 1.5 years, he worked in Yandex, and he's still working there. And his first education was juridical, how to say?
In law.
Right? In law, yeah. Oh, okay, it was in law. So I mean, he was not technician at all, but still he studied Yandex practicum before that. But still, he was able to successfully finish the program, and he was, well, I think one of the best students of his year. But that lays on a basis of high motivation and interest from his side. But still, that's possible. So, well. And so the minimum level, well, if you don't know one topic, that's okay, because we will have kind of introductory course which is called Math Refresher, and there we will kind of try to remind you some linear algebra, some statistics, but you need to know, well, at least something, and that's the minimum point. Well, how much at least? Well, that depends.
Okay, thanks.
Just in case, to give a small addition, the entrance exam, of course, requires from you some knowledge, but actually it's just an example for you. So, for example, if you can solve it easily, then you are well prepared and everything is fine. If you have some issues with it and you need some additional time to get prepared, that's fine. If you have completely no idea of what's written in there, so you need to do something to understand at least half, because otherwise it just will be too challenging. So this entrance exam is not just to filter out everyone who is not prepared, but to highlight you the simple entrance level. So just as regular, if you can solve half of it, seems like it's good enough if you solve it correctly. If you can solve everything, maybe with some mistakes, that's great. If you cannot even approach it somehow, then seems like it requires some additional time to either prepare, because you can prepare yourself, but you will need just pay more attention at the beginning, or you just don't know what to, or otherwise you just won't know what to do during the classes if you're completely unfamiliar with all the stuff in there.
Yeah, my particular case is that I touched high maths 4 years ago and forgot many things. So I found your program and some days ago. So I have approximately a month to refresh my knowledge in high maths and statistics, and I started doing it. I think that I should try. So is it? Can I prepare it in a month, refreshing all this all the stuff, because the number of topics, it's, as I see, it's typical full course of high maths in average technical university. It's a rather broad number of topics. So if you have only 1 month, I think it's rather tough to prepare. But as I heard, if you have some basic knowledge and you know something, you should try.
Yeah, definitely, you should try. So this the whole list of entrance topic, it's the ideal candidate just out there in the universe. So if you know everything from that list, then you can easily come to the program and just smooth and easy go through it. Of course, if you have some missing points, you still can fix it, and you don't need to fix it right here and right now. You just need to understand that you will need to fix it during the first semester mostly. We'll help you with the math refresher course. In there, we'll discuss both the basics of mathematics, gradient descent, linear spaces, integration basics, and so on. But if you have never heard what is an integration before, it will be a rather high pace. Otherwise, if you have experience in some university maths, don't worry, it's fine. Just check the test variant, just check that you are quite familiar with such kind of problems. And also, if you have some just issues with it, just try paying some time and some, sorry, I forgot the word, paying some attention to the stuff, because we also have provided some additional materials, and we'll provide even more in the chat how to prepare. So even if you have some lack of knowledge experience, you can simply fix it with motivation, and we can see it on the interview, for example, that if somebody had really small knowledge of mathematics at the beginning, but still solved the exam just for some non-negative mark, and we see that this person fulfilled it just in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, then we can fix it easily.
Thank you. And sorry for lots of questions. One more question. No, I saw that the contest requires Python for solving problems.
Yeah, mostly Python, but if you're familiar with some other language, we can.
Yeah, it's okay to send C, C++ at least. I think
is Java okay?
Java okay, I think, yeah. So, but well, the practice says that Python is just more easy. I mean, the problems there in the contest, I hope you've seen them, yeah. And
no, I haven't seen problems yet.
Okay, we have a test example of this exam. example, examine example. Yeah, that's correct. So we have an example of our exam, and there is a context. So I mean, the problems there, they are not about the efficiency of your code, you know, milliseconds. It's not ICPC. No, not at all. The problems are more or less basic.
I mean, I haven't touched Python, unfortunately, and touched Kotlin and Java, and so I need to.
You won't have any problems because it just checks that you have basic skills of programming. So we once again don't need to start from completely zero level, because at the master's program we cannot start from zero level, because then we'll just be unable to get somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
If you are familiar with any programming language with at least some level of proficiency, you will easily deal with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so if your day-to-day work is a developer, I think you will pass it like
completely without any problem.
Completely without effort, yeah. So I think that's so. I would pass it like hello, I'm passing. Hello, goodbye. So I think that's true.
Okay.
So just to check that the programming language is not something unfamiliar to you.
And one more question is about, it's called in Russian akadem. If something goes wrong or some issues.
Question from the start from an experienced student.
No, had no academics in my life, but
you have a right mindset.
This is the first paid education, I guess. Had only budget educations before, and if something goes wrong, maybe some issues with health, I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible, not a problem. So if you go for academic leave, you simply return after 1 year at the same moment. So you don't need to pay for it, to give some additional payments, except some maybe monthly fee, because usually when you leave for the academic leave, the last month you left is kind of disappeared.
So you need to pay for if you have a half a year, and you can pay for half a year, as I understand, in your program.
Yeah. So
and if you and you pay at the start, and if you go to academy, you don't need to pay anything else, as I understand. You started this half of a year, you paid for it, and then you need to go in academic. And you don't need to pay anything else. You paid for that half a year, and that's all.
Yes, almost with only one additional thing. If you, for example, have paid for, just in case, for okay, yeah, you're right. I mean, there are sometimes some tiny issues with it, but in general, you're right.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, they might ask you for some fix, for example, if you took 1 year, then you come back the next year and the program price increased a little bit, the financial department might ask for this difference because you continue on the next year, but only for the difference, not for the whole price.
And how large is the group in general?
Usually approximately 20 people. So we are not trying to make it just a general pipeline for everyone. We are more about tete-a-tete, just person to person.
And how much bachelors from MIPT MIPT in this program?
Not that much. So they are not the target auditory of this program, and that's why there's no so many of them. I think 2 to 3 to 4, something like that.
Because that doubts me if I get it right or wrong. It's more like the second education or something like that.
Yeah. So the target audience are people who are well, usually from 30 to 40. Maybe a bit above, and they usually, so the typical MSAI student is a person who already have some technical background, some education, but not that recently. I mean, that's not a recent graduate. And usually people finish their university like 5, 10, 15 years ago, and they want different things, but mostly the career opportunities, maybe sometimes they're to change the field they work in, and so on. So maybe, maybe to some of them are project managers, but kind of, technical ones, and they want to be upgraded and to be able to manage more complex, more, artificial intelligence intensive projects. So these are, but we usually focus to prepare mostly machine learning engineers. So machine learning engineers or researchers. So that's the typical outcome of our program. And our students write papers, not all of them, but I think 10 to 20% of our students are successfully submitting papers to conferences. And we encourage that, but that's not the main goal. That's if people want to do it. But I mean, they have enough proficiency to do so. So our courses are giving these opportunities.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to ask a question about internships and career opportunities after studying. For example, after the first year, like I understand, it's 2 years, yeah?
Yeah.
So after the first year, is there anything like internships where I can practice the things I've learned for the 1 year? And okay, at the end of the program, I learned that basically we're going to work as machine learning engineers or researchers. So what aspect of machine learning engineering exactly are you preparing?
Well, if we speak about the fields, we prepare all the fields. So we have computer vision, we have natural language processing, we have reinforcement learning, we have graph machine learning, we have recommender systems. What else do we have? So, well, we have robotics if you want, but currently we disabled this course. So really, that's most of the fields that are practically valuable, and so you could go to either of them. If we speak about internships, we don't have like a guaranteed internships for you, so we don't provide it as a part of a program. But the practice says that kind of half of our students are working as ML related people after the first year of this program. This depends. The words that you get depends on you. But if we speak about practical experience, that's more or less answer next part of your question. In our program, we have thesis defense, and theses are made with people from industry, and usually that could be, for example, so example from my students, I developed self-driving cars, and we did monocular depth estimation. So that's a practical problem which we encountered during making of self-driving car, and that's important problem in this field, and so on and so forth. So we have some, for example, biometrics problem where thesis advisor was our teacher in Python who works in Samsung, and so on and so forth. So many different examples here. So I mean, your practical part that you could show as a result of your work is thesis work. But the amount of knowledge, of experience which we give, usually enough after the first year of the program is usually enough to get the internship or even permanent position. So that's a typical way of our students.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So just in case, small addition, we are glad to recommend you for any internship, and usually people get involved, but we cannot guarantee that anybody will, not anybody, that we cannot guarantee that the team will just hire you, because it's still on the team side. So you need to pass the interviews successfully and find some appropriate place. We're glad to give recommendations, prepare you for the stuff, but it's still on your side and the side of the team to make the final step.
And from my personal experience, I was studying Skoltech, and there was mandatory internship provided by Skoltech. And you know, the maybe top 20% of these internships was okay. So this was really nice internships, very relevant. Most of the internships were somehow relevant to machine learning, and the bottom part, they were unrelated, really. So HRs found it just to fill the gaps, just to provide at least something. And people who studied machine learning, they went to companies who worked on Excel and so on and so forth. So that was a cringe for them, in fact. So I mean, that system, is questionable to provide a guaranteed internship for everyone, because someone will have not so relevant one.
All right, thank you very much. And then the question about the admission, I should wait and speak with Kirill, yeah?
Yeah, so Kirill should provide the main valuable feedback, just in case you're in the chat, right? So we're in direct connection. So if he doesn't answer to you, for example, something else, you can simply write in the chat, highlight it for us. So we'll make it work from our side, because we can tell you everything about the program, educational process, diploma, thesis work, and so on. But unfortunately, the admission process is just in another part of MIPT. So we can only indirectly affect them, but we're not fully eligible for this process, not eligible, responsible for this process.
Okay.
Yeah, so if he doesn't answer you, so write us, we will reach him and notify him that he should answer.
All right, okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions, comments, requests?
One small question from me. How many developers or engineers come to the course, or mostly people from from other areas?
To the program, you mean, as students?
Yeah, as students. How many engineers join the program?
Maybe half of them.
So you mean software engineers?
Yeah.
Well, I think about a half, and I think about a fourth are technical people. Maybe up to one third are technical. I mean, not software engineering, but technical people. They are engineers or maybe computational biologists and so on and so forth. And the last part, maybe 1/6, are not technical, but they are usually highly motivated people with some previous examples. So these cases are considered by us in individual manner, but the focus group are really software engineers who want to join the machine learning community. Well, not to join like, okay, I studied 15-minute lesson about linear regression, but join as a full-fledged specialist.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your meaningful questions. Anything else we can help you with it? So just in case, we'll provide some additional materials in the chat later. I mean, some links to additional maybe books or how to prepare. And I'm not fully sure that everyone from this chat is sorry, from this call is in the chat. So just in case, I will send the direct link to this call chat as well. So just in case, if you're not there yet, please join us.
So yeah, please follow the link in the Zoom chat if you haven't did this before.
And just in case, we'll provide some overview of main properties as well a little bit later and send it there as well so you can see it. Okay. So anything else we can help you with it? Because still we're glad to answer to your questions, but good call is a short call. So if there are no more questions, why take some time from your weekend?
Hello. My question is that I just already joined the chat, but I don't see the previous messages. Is that
thank
right?
you. I will fix it.
Oh.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Now it should be.
I don't think we could fix it for already joined.
Seems like Telegram has fixed it, so now if you change it, it goes back into the well,
really?
yeah.
Well, I think I will resend the message.
Okay.
So here is I think you could enable the history, but
I've already done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I resend the message with main information. And if you have any following questions, I mean, even after finishing of this talk, if you will have some questions tomorrow and so on, you could ask them, we will answer in this chat, okay? So, but if you have questions now, you could ask us.
Thank you.
Yeah, Murabek, you raise a hand.
Yes, hello to everybody. I just have some couple questions about admission. I have received an email that I should send my passport. Like I'm writing an email like I should send my internal passport because I'm from Tajikistan, so it's both in Russia and my native language. Also, there's written that I should send my bachelor's course. I cannot do it right now because I'm not in Tajikistan. I'm in Senegal. I'm located in Senegal. I can send a scanned version of my diploma, and maybe later I can send my scores because I have finished. I have taken my diploma like 5 years ago, so I don't have scores.
Okay.
And also there was one more question.
So speaking about the admission, that should be fine. Once again, speaking about the admission.
And also there's CV or cover letter. Should I send a cover letter just from my job and then sign it? I'm working for the NGO Shelter for Life. So is it like acceptable about just cover letter from my...
I think your resume could be enough. Should it be enough? I think other stuff. We are more interested in your resume. So kind of all the information more than in your current position cover letter. But if you could do that, if it's not an effort for you, so I think that could be better if you have. Well, if your job is somehow connected to maybe machine learning or at least some software engineering, well, that could be Could be possible.
Yeah, like
but still you can write it yourself in your resume. So I mean, I do some things, I don't know, I do backend for websites with Python, with Django, or I don't know what you do, but just describe it. We could take it from there.
Thanks. CV or resume, or I can do both, yes? CV and
sure.
resume.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So main goal is actually just to understand your background, not some formal stuff like it should be definitely on one side of paper and so on. So just a regular process so we can see what is your experience, maybe some interesting projects or whatever.
No, it is NGO, so I'm doing Python for my own, like I'm not working for like some backend. I'm doing for my own.
Okay, then I guess it will be really easy for you to pass all the admission and just dive into the program.
Okay. So after admission, there will be some tests or whatever like this, or
There will be some entrance exam, and after that, some courses will start.
Yeah, so interview, so we have several steps. So first, document submission, then the exam, so written exam in math, and we have an example of these problems in the chat, which we send the link to, and finally we will have an interview with Rodislav and me. We will have an interview. We will ask you about motivation, about your previous experience, about your expectations. We'll discuss all of that, and we will decide on basis of this information.
it is in this Telegram chat, Telegram that you have sent. There I can find some conclusions, yes?
Yeah, definitely. You could send your questions there. If for some reason it's not convenient to you, there is a email address. I will write it to the Zoom chat. It is msai@fistech.edu. So if Telegram is not convenient for you, you could send your questions there. We will answer as well.
Oh, actually, it's good. I have Telegram, so I can answer any questions there.
Yeah, because kind of Telegram is an instant messaging service, and email is just more long term, so it will require a bit longer to answer, but still that's an option. So I've written an email, msai@fistech.edu. So alternative way to ask your questions is this, or maybe any information about admission, about the exams, about everything.
What is like deadline? It's like 18th of August for the admission.
So deadline to apply is well, August 16 is the best. So formal deadline is August 17, midday of Moscow, something like that. So it's better to August 16, August 15. So that's the deadline to submit your application. So to start the process. Then you will have an exam, then you will have an interview after that.
Okay. So we just submit international passport, diploma, and CV and resume, CV and cover letter.
Yeah, but if you already decided to go forward to our program, we suggest you to apply as soon as possible. Because the admission process could be, well, I mean, you could submit just your passport, just a scan of your passport plus scan of your, so just what you have right now, you could submit it right now, and they will ask you for the rest. and you will start a process that will be better, because they will not kind of forget about you, and you will start it. So that's more, robust way.
Okay, thank you.
So don't wait for the last minute. These could end with some, unexpected result. So you could apply like today or tomorrow as you have time, if you already decided.
Yeah, for sure. I've decided, so I will move forward. Yeah, I will just send my international passport.
So they
and
will
my
just
PPT.
answer you that you need more documents like this, and as you get these documents, you could send it forward to them as you get it.
Okay, thank you. I have no more questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one small question: how is the entrance exam? How it is held? It's through some proctoring system with webcam. And
yeah. So it's done by Zoom.
Just regular. So you simply have some. We need your webcam during the exam, but you simply get some questions. You provide some answers. And that's it.
So you need a quiet place where you are alone with some, papers and stable internet connection. I think that's all you need. Maybe some water and so on. We will send the details about an exam when you will submit your documents. So as you submit them, we will send you, extended description of an exam. But generally, what we said above.
Yeah, I submitted my documents, and as I understand, there is some time when moderators watch through them, and
yeah, the first exam will be held at 5th of August. It's written in the Telegram, for example. I think we will send you email with all the information, I think like on Monday, something like that. I mean, in 1.5 days.
And as I understand, exams at 6th of August and at 26th of August are the same exams?
5 August.
5 and 26th.
Yeah.
They are the same exams.
Just different variants, so you will see different questions on the 26th.
But the topics are the same. Topics are the same.
I mean, I can take this exam at 26th of August.
Yeah. So you need to do it only once, so just one date.
Okay.
For everything.
Yeah, we hope that exams are pretty easy because
that's more or less baseline exams. Definitely. So we don't expect you to have, we don't expect you to already defend your thesis, we expect you just to be entrance level.
Sounds good, because I finished like 5 years ago, so there's a lot.
That's okay. I think more than half of our students finished like from 5 to 10 years ago, their first education.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for this meeting. Like, it was very helpful to understand this kind of nuances.
You're welcome.
Yeah, great. Thank you for your questions.
All right. So last call. 3, 2, 1. Then I guess that's it about the open day. Still, we are welcome to ask any of the questions in the Telegram chat, and we'll provide some additional materials a little bit later.
So there is one more question in the chat from Faiz. I would like to ask how many quotas slots are available for Open Doors Scholar in the next program year 2024. Oh, I think we will know the answer like, somewhere in May.
Actually, we can try checking it about the next year, but we cannot see it because the quotas are usually fixed somewhere in the beginning of the year, in January or February at least. So right now we can only make an estimation.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see somebody from somebody connected with the iPhone. I have no idea who is that, but still, if there are any more questions, you're welcome. iPhone left. All right, then thank you for joining us today.
Sorry for that. Like I was just taking Telegram link for my phone.
No problem. I just thought maybe
so if you well, it should reach. Well, we was sending all the links to your emails, so check it out. Or if you didn't have an email, you could email us with the email address which I've sent, msai@fistech.edu.
Yeah, I already take the link and I've joined in the Telegram. That sounds
okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So
yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.